Hello, my name is Creostix and welcome back to Dear Esther, Landmark Edition. And we continue on from where we left off last time. So, we go on through this little mini valley or crevasse or whatever you might call it, and what we learned last time was that there has been yogurt. There was someone called Donovan who is something. He has been here before. There was a chemical formula for ethanol, and the narrator has some sort of affliction that is not only of mind but also of body. That's pretty much what I gathered so far. Not much to go on, but hey, well, I'm sure it'll all make sense in the end. Or if it won't, we'll live with a very confusing experience, and I'm sure it'll make us feel all artistic and everything. That is a pretty impressive sized ship. I mean, I think in the last episode the narrator mentioned a cargo ship or something that carried yogurt, but I don't know if this is that one. What I do know is that... Actually, is that same paint cans? I think yeah, and it shows that it is both poisonous and... I think that last marking means it's like... It's a bit worn off, but I think that picture is supposed to have a tree and a fish in the lower right. So... Like, I mean, right next to the skull face. I think that means it's like hazardous for the environment as well, which is... That's good. That's nice. It's not like we have any environment here, you know? Oh well. Huh. So I guess it's probably not the yogurt ship then. I was hoping it would be all yogurt everywhere and everyone would be happy and fine and dandy and eating loads and loads of yogurt and having very, very satisfactory bowel movements. There's a blinking yellow light in the distance. I think it's like a buoy or something. Right. Nor drink.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Okay. Right. Hermit's right. Did he eat nor drink? Neither did he. And neither did he eat nor drink. Okay. I'm assuming it's important and... Okay. Is that a D20? Can we play D&D? I'll play a barbarian and I'll whirlwind my way out of here and... Oh. Bummer. I wonder what that means though. Again, like arrows on the top there, but I don't know. Can't make heads tails of that yet. I would love to have a run button, but, well, this is what we have to work with. Some boxes, nothing new. Wonder if there's anything up there. So yeah. Not sure if I mentioned, but I think I heard that the dev team for this game eventually went on to make the second Amnesia, the machine for pigs. I might try that at some point. I haven't played that one yet. I'm usually not a big fan of the horror games where you can't really do much. I know it's kind of a, well, a kind of an interesting stance to take because, well, if you can do something it's less horror-y. Yeah, maybe that's true, yeah, but I like to be able to act in some way. Like, I like the kind of horror where you need to steel yourself and aim real true or hit real carefully and be careful and still manage to do something about the enemies or your fate or so and so.
All night the
Oh.
boy has kept me lucid. I sat when I was at the very edge of despair, when I thought I would never unlock the secret of the island. I sat at the edge and I watched the idiot boy blink through the night. He's mute and he is retarded, and he has no thought in his metal head but to blink each wave and each minute aside until the morning comes and renders him blind as well as deaf-mute. In many ways, we have much in common.
So the morning renders you blind and deaf and mute. Like the Buoy. Okay. I think ages ago you also mentioned that the island is your kidney stone, so you might want to talk to someone about that existential crisis, because that doesn't sound completely healthy. Oh well. And even more of these barbed wires. I mean, come on. That's not gonna stop anyone and you're just gonna cut yourself and then fall. What's the point, really? I mean, come on, hey. And some trash in the rocks there. But yeah, it looks like this was a dead end. I think I'm supposed to go now to, well, the red light probably shows the way again, so around those little cliffs, and here we go. Ow, 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 ow. Okay. A run button would really help this, but I suppose it has a deliberate pace. Like, it's designed and meant to be exactly the speed it is. So, you know, I guess I can't really complain too much. And also it would probably... Huh. An exhaust pipe. Okay.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Right, sorry. A moment ago I mentioned that the island was his kidney stones, and that was the thing I was thinking of. I indeed did play the first 2 chapters beforehand, and I remembered that line, but it had blurred in my memory and I thought that it had already come. Because I just couldn't remember where exactly he said what, so... Okay, so well, yeah, kidney stones, right. And apparently, you know, that's then a nice image. Sure. Is that a hole? Yeah, it
When I
is.
first looked into the shaft, I swear I felt the stones in my stomach shift in recognition.
Really? I think that's water down there. Yeah, huh, okay. I don't think it's gonna let me dive down. I don't feel very confident in the notion, so... Let's keep going and see what's what. Ooh, a house in the distance. Maybe we can find some method of calling the phone and leaving the place. Although I'm still not sure if if the person I'm playing as is this dude who's talking, or...
I'd begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
Right. Well, I mean, a new beginning is... Oh, the flashlight again. That's handy. A rock, some trash, a syringe. Okay. A bloody... either a tissue or part of bandage. The texture looks kind of like a bandage, but I'm not sure. And yeah, I think that's the role of it. Yeah, it's a bandage. Huh. Oh. Okay. More bandages, syringes, some medical apparatus. And that is... I can't make out the text there. But probably not something that goes with your cereal in the morning. I'm just a wild stab in the dark. Okay, so... And now let's go past these, I think it's like foundations or something, because, yeah, it's not very high, that's for sure. The soundtrack sure kicked in, that's for damn sure. So, what exactly... I'm still kind of like confused.
The Buoy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him, either.
Okay, Jakobsen. Oh, there's another little cottage there. Let's check that first. Flashlight, thank you. It's an automatic thing. I can't like to turn it on and off at will. Can I... What's with the ground being... Okay. Is that supposed to mean something, or... Well, this time there's no syringes. They've maybe burnt or buried something there, but... Oh. There's something here. Right. But, lines in every direction. I do remember still the chemistry thing, but that's a lot of just lines and symbols that don't really mean much to me, at least. It looks still similar in overall shape to the chemistry formula, but oh well. Doesn't say anything to me. And that's not like chemical symbols. I don't think they use triangles. I think I learned that much in school. Another paint can and another one of these. I think this is similar to the one I saw in the cave in the last episode. It's like a, I don't know, like a combination of a sort of a weird flower and some octopus or something. Okay. So, a box. Ooh. Hey,
My heart is landfill.
that's bird.
These false dawns waking into the still never light. I sweat for you in the small hours and wrap my blankets into a mass. I have always heard the waves break on these lost shores, always the gulls forgotten. I can lift this bottle to my ear, and all there ever is for me is this Hebridean music.
Hebridean. Right. So like, I think Hebrideans are like, I don't know. I seem to remember a group of islands called the Outer Hebrides, but I'm not sure if this is the same thing. And that's the same book I saw in the first, like, lighthouse place, but again, it does not say much to me. Also, the mug has some more chemical symbols, chemical formula to it, but okay, so it's like RN, two O's, there's four R's and the edge is there, and then two O's and another NR, so it's at least symmetrical. I'm not completely certain, but I think that the I might be wrong here, but I think the uh, sort of the angles where there's actually like where they cross these lines, you know, I think every single one of those like cross moments or angles that doesn't have a letter is C for carbon, but not completely sure. That's what I seem to remember it could be. But I don't know my... That was an interesting little noise. But I don't remember my chemistry well enough to recognize what that formula actually means. An ultrasound picture, I think. Maybe of a womb, but unsure. Right. Some more notes. Again, that same book. Some blood in a kind of a tiny tub-like thing. A lot more paint cans. Paint cans, yeah. Well, I mean, sure, pain, whatever. A stove. I'm guessing water bottle. Kettle, yeah, okay. And a lamp. Right. And again, windows broken too. Okay, well, I guess we're done here. I haven't really done anything most of my time, but anywho, I guess we can move forward. So, right. The wind is picking up again, which I don't know if it means anything, but I'm trying to interpret everything that I can. Huh. So this part doesn't have the barbed wire all of a sudden, which is interesting. I got a feeling it's not gonna end well if I just try to go down. So let's just keep walking and try to reach the end without breaking our legs and other bones and structures in our body. Ooh. Huh, another skeleton of a boat. Huh.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed, the result of some birth defect or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
Huh. Okay. Well, I mean, sure. That's at least that's like
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
Okay. Well, I was about to say that at least these two Jakobsen things are like tangible information that just gives me something that's apparently a fact, instead of this vague stuff about kidney stones being an island and so and whatever tangible existence of life or whatever, and those gods, and yeah, sure, like, huh? At least that is something that's okay. That's something that has happened.
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
Okay. So at least, yeah, that's also information. That's... paper. Notes. Can't quite get what that says. The letters are a bit too... Oh. Hebridean history, Hebridean history, Hebridean history. Okay. The first world is bounded, but beyond that I can't really see what that says. Huh. Still interesting. I mean, he did mention slipping and falling, and there's like a black line here. But, I mean, did he carry so many just books? I don't know. Doesn't really add up, but I'm not sure. I wonder if that black lining means something, or is it just like environmental, like coloring, or... I don't know. Well, I mean, I guess we can just keep going and see if anything turns up or comes of that. So yeah, I am kind of enjoying this though. This does hold some real atmosphere and isolation to it. It's not a super like action-heavy, eventful experience, but it's still pretty interesting. And while the text is a little vague, it at least keeps some interest up into what the hell's going on. And that candle is alight. And I'm not an expert on judging how long candles have been burning or anything. That's not my area. But I mean, there's not a puddle of thawed out stuff around it, or melted stuff around it, I mean. So or parts of a melted candle. So I mean, to me that says it hasn't been like days or anything. It's like So meaning that hints to me that I'm not alone in here, maybe? That's what I hope. Or, well, I hope in the sense that, hey, there's someone who can take me to the boat so we can all go home and play Gone Home, or, well, maybe not Gone Home, but, you know, something. Huh. It doesn't look like it's gonna let me just climb up there. It sort of blocks me from... Oh, fuck. Oh. Oh, right. That's the end of the chapter then. And here we are.
From here, this last time, I have understood there is no turning back. The torch is failing along with my resolve. And hear the singing of the sea creatures from the passages above me, and they are promising the return of the gulls.
Right. But I mean... gulls. I mean, sure, if you had the broken femur, then if you can't walk, but are gulls really... I guess they eat kind of anything, but do they... I haven't heard of any cases ever where a seagull would have eaten a corpse, especially a human one, but then again, maybe I haven't just heard everything. But that is the end of that chapter, so that is once again a good spot to call it one episode again, and I'll continue on again next time, but thank you so much for watching, and I will see you then.